everyone, and welcome to the video. My name is Kayla, and today we're going to be talking about the disastrous launch of Cyberpunk 2077. It's been a train wreck since release day December 10th, 2020. It's just a giant PR nightmare. Even gamers who have friends who don't game have heard that they've heard about it. You know what I mean? It's been a big thing. CD Projekt Red, who is the company behind Cyberpunk, also is known for their Witcher series. With a fan favorite like Wild Hunt, there was a lot of fan expectation. And a lot of that fan expectation on console anyways was not met. Full disclosure to everyone, I haven't played Cyberpunk myself. I have seen a lot of footage of it. I've been following the news on it, and my friend insanekiller has actually been kind enough to provide the footage that's going to be featured in this video today. They're playing on PC, and the graphics card that they have is really good. Bear that in mind. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, I figure we should start at the beginning. So, Cyberpunk 2077 was actually announced in 2012. That's when CD Projekt Red said, hey, we're working on this thing. Keep in mind, their main focus at the time was The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. This was what they were putting their heart and soul into, and Cyberpunk was really just an afterthought. Flash forward to 2016, and this is when it's believed that Cyberpunk actually really rolled into production. They really started working on the game, The Witcher 3 was done with, everybody could focus. Well, March 2018, roughly, is when CD Projekt Red actually opened up another studio in order to help everybody who was working on Cyberpunk 2077. They knew at this point that they needed some backup. Anybody who's saying that this game has been in production for 8 years, it's not really accurate. The idea was floating around, but it wasn't a main focus of the studio. 2016 is where we should really start the counter. So it's been roughly about 4 years, probably about 3.5 of like really extensive work. Who knows? They should have probably waited a little longer. Now that we have all of that backstory, let's get into the rest of it. This game was plagued with delays. Delay. It was originally supposed to be released April 16th, 2020. And obviously that didn't happen. It didn't get released until December 10th. At this point, it had been pushed back a couple of times. People were upset. Game delays happen. There's a reason that these happen, and probably should have been delayed again. The reason game delays happen is because the product isn't ready yet. And if you release a game that's broken, or if you release a game that you have to put so much extra work in, or it's unfinished, people aren't going to buy it, or it's going to, maybe have people lose a little bit of faith in your company. Who knows? That is what happened. Even with all the delays, the game doesn't feel like it's meant to be released to customers, and that's why people are so upset. On the other hand, you'll have people say that they were advertising this for such a long time that they should expect the backlash of delays. Okay, yeah, that's fair. But would you rather them have delayed it again and have a really good quality game, sort of like the experience that most PC players are experiencing? Or would you rather have the PS4 base model struggling to make it look like anything? Another option that they could have done is they could have released it for PC. Maybe it's a timed exclusive. You know what that does? That buys them time. That buys them time to make sure that it works well on other systems. They didn't do that. And because of that, all of the other systems suffered. PC was their main focus, and the rest were sort of left at the mercy of what they could do. It also didn't help that they didn't release any footage of what this stuff was going to look like on, say, a base PS4, or even a PS4 Pro, or an original Xbox One. Stuff like that. They didn't even release a next-gen version yet. So they were willing to wait for that, but they weren't willing to wait for the consoles, because they wanted to get those console gamers playing. I would have waited. The backlash that this company has faced within the last week and a half of this game being out is astounding. And it's probably the worst game launch that I have ever personally witnessed. I don't really blame people for being angry. I was going to pick it up on PS5, but it's not out yet. And honestly, I might wait. Maybe I'm going to get it on computer, because that seems to be the reliable way to go. To a lot of people, this felt like a cash grab. They got a game that required huge day one patches, are going to require a lot of other patches, and CD Projekt Red was like, oh, we made all this money. Yeah, but you have a lot of people who are really upset. They have been trying to salvage the situation, but it hasn't really gone well. A prime example of the confusion and frustration and massive issue that a lot of gamers are having is this refund policy. CD Projekt Red released a statement earlier on saying, hey, if you're having issues or you want to return the game, please reach out to Sony or Microsoft, and then if they won't give you a refund, reach out to us. I've been keeping a close eye on the Sony aspect of this story, mostly because I am a Sony consumer, so I don't typically play Xbox. I'm more of a Sony fan gal. Sony, for those of you who don't know, their return policy on their web store or the Sony PlayStation Store is that if you've downloaded the game, you own it. You can't return it. PC gamers don't so much know that life, but that's the way it works for Sony. When Sony was confronted with all of these people saying, well, CD Projekt Red told me to contact you and I want a refund, they had to tell people that wasn't their policy. If you've already downloaded the game, you own the game. It made Sony look bad because CD Projekt Red said that people could do this, and Sony was sort of like, well, that's not our policy. What do we do? This is where it gets interesting, because Sony has released a statement saying that in this instance, they are allowing people who bought Cyberpunk 2077 digitally to return it. So they won't have access to the game anymore, obviously, but in this one instance, they're willing to forgo their own return policy to refund people. And they are pulling the game from the PlayStation Store until further notice. It may go up again, but it's probably going to have to perform at higher standards than what Sony has seen. It's pretty bad when a company that doesn't usually offer refunds is offering one for a product that you released. And you know that's going to come back on CD Projekt Red. It already has. So far, other than PC gamers, console gamers are feeling like they've been a little bit used. It feels like it was a cash grab for the company and they were sort of just left to deal with it. And that doesn't leave a really good taste in your mouth, you know? What will the future hold for Cyberpunk 2077? We don't know at this point. It may turn out that it's just going to be another example of games that should have only been released on PC. We don't know. We really won't know until they update patches and until the next gen version of the game comes out. If it comes out. It probably will. Let me know in the comments below if you picked up Cyberpunk and you're enjoying it. What system are you playing it on? And have you had any issues? Thanks for watching, everyone, and remember, if you like watching my kind of videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that little bell. You'll get notified when I post videos. I don't post them very often, but I do stream more on Twitch than anything else. So if you do want to see more content from me, check out twitch.tv/KnockOutKayla and you'll find me there.